God. Ask God.
Hey Scott, my name's Dan, contacting you from London in the UK. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to you for all the content that you put out and your consistency in doing so. It's been an amazing help to me in launching products on Amazon. And secondly, I just had a question around pay-per-click reports. Now, I've been running a broad match campaign for about a couple of months now. And I'm at a point where I want to start to run a phrase match and even exact match campaigns. But I wondered if you can let me know or let us know the criteria that you would look upon in a broad match campaign in order to strip out those keywords and put them into a phrase match or exact match campaign. Now, would we be looking for things like high clicks or low clicks, or the percentage of click-through rate, or a low ACOS percentage? So it just really wanted to understand what we would be looking for in order to strip out those keywords. It will be great to hear your feedback on this, and I look forward to it. And again, thank you so much for all that you do, and look forward to your reply. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Dan from the UK. What is going on? All the way from the UK. That is amazing. Every time I answer questions, or even on my live workshops, and we connect from people all over the world, it's just awesome. And I mentioned in the beginning how I love doing the podcast. That's another reason. I love being able to connect with people from all over the world. So Dan, thank you so much for representing in London. All right. So yeah, another pay-per-click question. We can talk about this all day long, I think, but we're not going to. I'm going to kind of break this down for you in simple terms. And also, I don't think we should be overcomplicating it. There's people that, they really do take pay-per-click seriously, and I think that you should, but I also think that you can overcomplicate the process sometimes, especially when you're first starting. So what I want to do here is just kind of give you, again, the easiest way to break it down and to get started and to start looking at these numbers, and then from there deciding what to do with these results. Okay. So the very first thing is you're right. You're going to run that broad term, okay, or an auto campaign or a broad search. Both of them are going to give you the data that you want. And the data that we want right now is we want to see keywords that are actually being keyed in by our customers. Okay. We want to know exactly what people are searching for. Okay. Because we can guess all we want, but until we see the actual keyed in searches that were done and performed by our customer, we don't really know for sure. Okay. So before I would ever want to run an exact match on anything, I would want to know the exact search term that someone is searching for, and I'd want to make sure that I had conversions on that. Okay. So the very first step in this process is to run the auto campaign and to run a broad match campaign of keywords that you think, I'm using air quotes, that you think are the keywords that people are searching for. Okay. Or that are searching your product for, or maybe even taking the ones out of your competitors' titles and bullet points and all that stuff and putting them in there. I mean, pretty much when you're getting started, you kind of know a handful of keywords that you think that your customer is going to be searching for. So you put them in that broad match, okay? And broad means exactly that. They're going to be relevant to that, but they're not going to be exact. They can be all over the place. You might put one keyword in for broad, and you might get 20 different keywords that were sent to you, or the searches that were sent to you because of that one broad search that you did, okay? And the way that you find this is go into your reports, and then you go ahead and you look at the numbers, okay, or the data, which there's numbers there too, but there's keywords. That's what we're looking for. And you can see the campaigns, and then you can see the keyword. So for example, if it was garlic press, that's your broad term, you might get something that says in there, black handle long garlic press, hard material or something, or hard surface, or something just really obscure that, you would never be able to guess. Okay. But that was keyed in. But if you only get one of those, I don't really think we need to pay too much attention to that. But if you start to see repeatedly the keyword that keeps coming up that you didn't put in, it's just in the broad term, but it keeps coming up and you're getting impressions on that. Okay. So we want to look at the searches. We want to see how many searches come in at that keyword. We want to start seeing the impressions that are done with that. And then more importantly, we want to see the clicks. Okay, because we can get all the impressions we want, but if no one clicks on our ad, then we either have something that doesn't align to that particular search, or we have a conversion problem, which we just talked about. Okay, so for example, if you're selling a garlic press, now you have garlic and press in that keyword, but for a broad term, you might show up for lemon press. Well, if someone clicks on that by accident and they land on your listing, do you think that they're going to buy that? Probably not. They're not looking for a garlic press, they're looking for a lemon press, okay? But by looking at the data, we can see some of these different terms. You can even see misspellings. If you see that your product is kind of hard to spell, you might see a very common theme here that people are always spelling it the wrong way. Today, I'm just talking so fast, I can't get my lips to work. So you're going to be able to see this stuff. Now, once we start to see over time that there's stuff that's happening with this keyword or these keywords over and over again, and we're starting to get clicks and we're starting to get sales, then we can start to take those and pull them out of that broad match campaign and put them into a phrase match campaign. And we can call them our top 100 or our top 1,000. All right. And then when it's put into a phrase, now we're not going to come up with as many variations of that, but we're going to need that phrase to be in the keyword. So that will whittle it down and it'll make it more focused, but it won't make it so focused that it has to be an exact match. It just has to be, the phrase has to be in the keyword. All right. Now, after we do that for a little while and we start to see like there's a keyword that starts getting a lot of impressions, it starts getting a lot of clicks, and it starts getting a lot of sales, now we can take that keyword, bring it over to an exact match campaign, and then we want to take that keyword, bring it back into the other campaign and put it in as a negative keyword or just pause it in general, because that way there we're not competing against each other, if that makes sense. I hope that wasn't too complicated. But really, we just want to pull that phrase match out of there and we want to put it then into an exact match. Then we want to run a budget against that keyword and see if it still performs the same. Okay, because you don't really want to do an exact match until you know that that's a converting keyword. At least that's what I do. Okay, so it might stay in a phrase match for 4 or 6 weeks until I get enough data back. Okay, because even though you're doing the phrase match in garlic press, let's say, you might be getting a lot of other variations from using that as a broad term. It's kind of like a keyword that triggers all of these other miscellaneous keywords that are also getting you traffic. And then once you start to see a pattern, then you can move it into an exact. All right. So hopefully that's been helpful. Again, there's no really like exact formula other than looking at the data. And you don't want to start pulling out a phrase and put it into an exact until you think in your own, your own mind and in your own data evaluation is to see if that keyword is converting, not just getting clicks. Because here's the other thing. If you're getting a lot of impressions and a lot of clicks, but you're not getting the sales, that's a bad conversion, ratio. So that could hurt you for ranking in the future for that keyword as well. So you don't want that to happen either. Okay. So that can have a negative effect. All right. So again, what I want to stress here though, with anyone listening about pay-per-click, start slow, start to look at the data and just keep working at it slow and steady and start to trim and start to tweak and massage the campaign, okay, or the campaigns. But I always do with an auto campaign and then a handful of keywords in a manual. And then I also do a suggested keyword. So I have like 3 campaigns that start the process and then I'll start looking at the data. All right. So hopefully that's been helpful. If you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop.
Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.